Alright, what's going on, guys? Trev back again, here to bring you another video. This one's going to be doing my final Q&A as promised before tonight's episode of The Walking Dead Season 6, which is episode 7, Heads Up. So thank you guys very much for sending through another round of some awesome questions. Asked for it, and you guys went ahead and sent through some great ones. So keep sending them to me, and please don't be offended if I don't pick your question in particular. I do get quite a few, and sometimes I feel like certain ones fit, certain ones don't, and it depends on timing as well for when I receive them and when I'm going to be making the video. So of course, excited for tonight's episode. Can't wait for it. It should be a good one. Can't believe there's only 2 episodes left. It's gone by so fast, but it's been such an awesome half season that season 6 will no doubt go down as one of the best seasons ever, if not the best. And we'll recap when it's over, when it's all said and done, if it's better than season 5, which right now holds as pretty much the best season. If you look at the reviews online, including mine, as well as IMDb and all that, most people believe season 5 to be the best, and season 6 so far is, I think, even surpassed it. So it's been awesome. Yeah, so I'll see you guys then, of course, for the review, and the predictions for next week will be the mid-season finale. Can't wait for that as well. Interested to see how much stuff episode 7 has in it, or if it's just kind of a setup episode to a huge finale, which looks like it probably will be. It'll still be exciting by itself, I think, but should be really good. The last 2 for sure. First question for this one is from Greg Bashaw, and he actually asked us during the review, or this was in a comment, and so I wanted to include this, and I'm meaning to include it all week, basically, and his question is, why are the Flight miniseries, so Fear the Walking Dead, the Flight part that they put on during, like, the commercials, and he says part's only 15 to 30 seconds long. Is the whole thing going to basically be 5 or so minutes? I'm finding this kind of stupid and a waste of time. Yeah, so here's my thoughts on it. I think I've failed to ever mention it, actually, I think so far. Aside from when we found out they were going to do it, and I was excited for it because I was like, oh, yes, we're going to get a special. It's like webisodes and this. And because I really did like the webisodes that they used to do before the season. Now, granted, I'd rather have Fear the Walking Dead, which is a whole different show, than just a few webisodes, but I still like the webisodes nonetheless. And the Flight miniseries is kind of like a webisode. But here's the deal with it. You're absolutely right. They chopped it up so much to the point where each one is null. There's no reason to talk about it. It's like a kid sitting on a plane, texting, and then, somebody died in the bathroom last weekend. So it's like, oh, great. It hasn't even gone full on zombie yet or anything like that. It's just been such... They've micro-chopped it up so much that it's almost lost all appeal. So I guess once it's all finished and all the parts are released, then we can watch the whole thing through. But from what I've seen so far, I don't really know why they did it. I think mainly it might be to keep out awareness of Fear the Walking Dead, to kind of give us some awareness that they can put in each episode of The Walking Dead during the commercials so that we don't forget about Fear the Walking Dead. I think that's basically the purpose that it served. But by itself... it hasn't really done much for me, that's for sure. The kid who we see in it, I'm assuming, is probably going to be the one that ends up in Fear the Walking Dead, the actual series in Season 2, because, you see, that's going to connect into Season 2. It may not necessarily be him. It seems like it is. But there's also the Asian lady that's there, too. It seems like she has more of an idea of what's going on, what happened and what's going on. So, but yeah, I'm totally with you, Greg, and that's the reason why I haven't really talked about it during any of my reviews. I've just forgotten about it. It's like I watch the episodes like, okay, I got to mention that in the review, and then by the time the review comes, I've forgotten all about it because it's so quick. It's like a commercial, so even less than some trailers we see. So yeah, it's been a little bit disappointing because I was expecting to see something really cool, and it's so micro chopped up that there's really nothing to it. Like, there's nothing there. So yeah, that's it. Next one's from Rostic Checken. And here she says, Trev, who do you think Dwight will kill? Will it be, now he mentions a name for the comic book series. See, Dwight kills a character from the comic book series. Those of you guys who have read it, you'll know who it is. He actually shoots him with a crossbow arrow, or a bolt, so to speak. And we're not quite there at that point yet. That's still a little ways off. That's still... geez, in terms of timing. So that's after Something to Fear, I believe. I have to check the trades to see exactly. But that would probably be, I don't think this season. That's probably going to get pushed into season 7. And then we'll see Dwight kill somebody if they include the same part and if Dwight goes down the same route. Because Dwight doesn't even have his face burnt yet or anything like he does in the comic book series. So there's quite a ways to get to before we're going to get to that. We'll probably see Negan kill somebody first before we see Dwight do that. But yeah, who will it be? Now that's interesting, man. I gotta think about that a bit, and I think we got to see more from them before we can even make a prediction. But I don't think it'll be the same characters it was in the comic book series. I don't think it will be. And then it says, and what are your thoughts about the foreshadowing of Negan Lucille-ing Daryl's ass? So I made a video on that yesterday, and I think I forgot to mention in the video, which I mentioned in the review. The reason why I kind of read it that way is because with the helmet, the zombie seems to mirror Daryl, and it's wearing a biker helmet, which Daryl never has, almost to say, like, protect your head type deal. It's the only part of it that's not like totally destroyed and it's all melted in and everything. So that's interesting, man. You guys saw the video yesterday. You know what I kind of think about it. It's that's an interesting one. Are we going to see Daryl's death, man? That's crazy. I really hope not, because Daryl's one of my favorite characters in the series. But it's filled out, right? The roster of the amount of different characters, especially since they added Morgan back in, man. It has really, really filled out. We're going to talk about that in a minute. Next question is from Dennis Whelan, as well as Carrie Teague. And Dennis Whelan said, hey, Trev, I recently looked up The Walking Dead on my phone, and I came across this picture of Rick lying down on what seemed to look like floor with his eyes closed and wondering. Since there's been rumor last summer about Andy Lincoln wanting off the show, and now everybody who knows about it thinks he's going to die this season, do you think that the writers and Andrew Lincoln worked out an agreement on him staying on set for the rest of the season and then have the finale be his last episode, and that's why they casted Negan this early in the series, so that he can kill Rick in the finale, and then since he's already casted, they'll keep Negan. And since the last scene of season 6 finally will be the picture of Rick's corpse, okay, well, I don't know, that's okay. Anyway, he goes, I don't think this theory of mine really the case, but I think it's very possible. I want to hear your thoughts. By the way, love your videos. Stay awesome, and thank you if you decide to use this in the Q&A. And the other one was from Carrie Teague, who basically asked a few different characters, but included Rick in the what if Negan killed Rick. So, man, that would be so crazy if they killed off Andrew Lincoln. Now, that was a rumor, right? So, that it's hard, there's no way to know, right? There's no way to know if Andrew Lincoln actually does want off the series or anything like that. I mean, we can read something one way, but if you think about it, because the roster's so big, as we were just talking about, he doesn't have to do that many episodes like he used to. So even if it's a 16-episode season, episodes 2, he wasn't in, right? Episode 3, he was a bit, but not even that much. Episode 4, he wasn't in. Episode 5, episode 6, he again wasn't in. So he's only in like half the episodes, or a little bit over half so far. This week, of course, we know he's going to be in the episode, but it just seems like, it's probably less work than it once was for him, where earlier on in the series he's in every single episode. A lot of the there's very few episodes from the earlier seasons where Rick isn't in them. If you look at majority of them, he's in almost every one, because the surviving group is smaller, so it features him almost all the time. Back then, it would be rare to have an episode like The Grove, for example. Season 4 is kind of when they started to kind of do more of the separating it up and showing other characters, other groups. Season 3, they had some with Woodbury, but when the group was smaller, he was in damn near every episode and like so many scenes. So, it seems to me like the rumor is totally false, and I wouldn't worry about it too much. But that would be the biggest death in the history of television if they killed Rick off prematurely in the series, especially at the hands of a new villain like Negan. But then what would they do? I mean, that would just open up, it would be so different from the comic book series. I mean, Rick is the main character. He's on the cover like every single season, right? So I feel like we got a ways to go before it could be a smooth transition if they were to kill him off. Even though it does feel like they're a little bit less dependent on him now than they were with what seems to look like foreshadowing to me with Daryl, I don't think we have to worry about Rick at this time. Because also, if he let them know that he's not really feeling good or this kind of thing, or he doesn't want to do as many episodes, then they could just throttle back a bit more and not include him quite as much, which in the comic book series kind of happens anyway. In the comic book series, he doesn't take like a back seat, but the amount of characters grows so large that Rick is not out there the front, surviving, killing zombies type deal. He's taken a lot of a background, route to that because his body gets kind of thrashed over time and stuff like that, and he becomes the leader of a much bigger group, right? So he doesn't have to do that stuff after he calls the shot, so to speak. So yeah, I wouldn't worry too much about that. I don't think I haven't seen any spoiler pictures of Rick being killed or anything like that, or I'm not sure what you're talking about there. But again, I'm picky with spoilers. Some stuff I don't want to know. By the way, for tonight, there's spoilers posted, so heads up, guys, if you don't want to know. Maybe stay out of the comments, or just don't browse the web too much about it. Otherwise, you might get some stuff spoiled. It's like a weekly deal at this point. Everything's getting out there, kind of. Next one's from Med1965, and here she says, "Hey Trev, my question is, and you can make a discussion topic out of it. What can AMC do?" Actually, this is nice timing to stop all the leaks for The Walking Dead. I found out stuff, but I will not say what it is. The leaks take away from the enjoyment of the show, and as you've stated many times before. Keep up the great work. Well, this is a tough one. Game of Thrones is a good show where they keep majority of stuff. Even there, though, some stuff gets leaked, but they keep it under wraps better than Walking Dead does, I would say, even though stuff does get out for it too. But it's a different kind of animal. The Walking Dead is shot kind of out in the open, locally. Game of Thrones is shot all over the damn world in different places at once. So The Walking Dead, of course, where it's shot, and it basically every season is pretty close by to where it was shot prior, very, very close in terms of location. You have people involved with the show. You have a lot of zombie extras and stuff like that, and they're used, but they may have an idea of what's happening in and around them in filming, and then they may tell certain people, and then it may get leaked online, this kind of deal. Aside from that, sometimes it's just sloppy stuff, like the description for the Blu-ray reading Shane's last episode in Season 2. AMC let that leak on the Blu-ray cover before the episode hit. So it was, even Shane's death was spoiled for me. I knew it was going to happen beforehand. I still did a reaction video. It's just kind of like fun afterwards. But a lot of the deaths have been. They really should make an effort to try and do the best they can to kind of control the spoilers. Maybe get the zombies to swear to, maybe they already do that, I don't know. Not to say anything to anybody, or sometimes it could be people in and around the set in that, and try to maybe clear out a longer or wider area. It's just the show has become so big in the last 2 seasons that it's probably bigger than they ever thought it would be, and bigger than Robert Kirkman ever imagined it was going to become, to the point where you've got like Walking Dead beer, you've got like Walking Dead T-shirts and figures and building sets from McFarlane and all this different crazy merchandise, and just everything, to where the show has become colossal, just like Game of Thrones in terms of scope. It's just insane, right? So maybe there's no real way to keep it 100% under control with regards to spoilers. Maybe that's not possible. So then it basically comes down to us of trying to kind of avoid it, trying to stay out of it. You guys can watch my videos. I always let you know when there's going to be a spoiler, that type of deal, in the videos before I film and that, or if there's going to be like a spoiler video where we talk about major spoilers, I let you know ahead of time if you want to leave. But yeah, with the comment sections and stuff, you guys can still watch the videos, but be wary of comments, because I can't always. Sometimes I work like 45 hours a week. During that time, I can't be clearing out comments and stuff. It's going to sit until I get time to go through it and start looking through the comments and clear out a few. People posting spoilers and that. So for those who do know them and do like to talk about them, please use spoiler tags and that if you can when you're in comments. But aside from that, just watch the videos if you don't want to see them, and kind of stay away from the rest of the stuff as best you can. And I'll try to keep it careful for you guys. And sometimes I choose different thumbnails and stuff like that for reviews deliberately. Just because a character's killed or something happens, I use a different thumbnail, something else. Like what happened with Glenn earlier, I waited a while. So that was for you guys that I did that. So I do make an effort to try to avoid spoiling anything for you guys, even though it's hard, because people do want to talk about it too. So yeah, that's definitely sensitive topic. Some people hate it, right? So sometimes I do if it spoils Noah's death for me or other characters' death for me, that kind of deal. Next one's from Steve Vest, and he says, if your girlfriend is cheating with another girl, is it really cheating or just cool? Nice, Steve. Excellent. Well, I guess that depends on whether or not you're invited. Boom. No, still cheating. Next question's from, this will be the last one, Impilin. And he says, hey Trev, love your videos, man. Was wondering if you could give your thoughts on a wolf theory I have. Many think they are done, but we haven't seen the iconic line from the comics, "Little pig, let me in." That's true, we haven't. And I don't think they'd pass that up. I wouldn't think so either. That's an awesome standoff, to be honest with you. Based on the descriptions for episodes 7 and 8, I think they'll somehow, Rick and company, disperse the current horde around Alexandria, and then more wolves show up leading to a gunfight, allowing the horde to move back in. That's a good point. Maybe they'll use another truck to break the wall, allowing No Way Out to start. I was also rewatching 509, the Tyrese death episode, and the radio broadcast said something like terrorizing the village by night, carrying out revenge attacks involving hacking incidents with machetes, and some cases setting them on fire. The wolves were shown doing both of these things. Could this be foreshadowing a wolf return at night for a revenge attack? Thanks, Trev. Would love to hear your thoughts. That's a great comment, man. I think that's an awesome theory and a great prediction. Really good stuff. I hope you're not in on some spoilers that I don't know. Again, I try not to know. I try to stay out of it. Right now, I don't know too much about the finale aside from what's been spoiled for me in comments. Don't really want to know the rest. So my videos don't include in the predictions stuff that I'm positive is going to happen that I've read in a spoiler. It's more like what I think is going to happen. But I like your ideas here, man, and what you think. And I really hope we see that, because the wolves, if they're done with the wolves already, that was not all that impressive. It was like the second episode, which was a great episode and everything, but it's like, that's it? Like, we have this wolves not far thing and all this stuff set up for so long, just for it to be like that. They're kind of like Joe's group or something. They're really not, I mean, they're pretty tough, but, in terms of the amounts of numbers they have and their brutality. But, it just didn't really do that. They killed a lot of Alexandrians, but it wasn't that impressive. It was a great episode, but I was thinking we were going to see more from the wolves after all that setup. So I hope we do still see more from them. We know the alpha wolf is still alive, so that'll be interesting to see what happens with him. And if he's the true leader of the group. I can't see the guy, I still can't see the guy with the axe taking orders from him. I just can't see it, unless he had numbers on him or something, which I guess makes sense. But he's not physically, with a group like that that's so animalistic, he doesn't seem like someone that would be the leader of the whole group to me. But that said, if he started it and he had the numbers, then maybe that could be the case. Anyway, so I'll call it here for today's Q&A. I'll see you guys again later tonight, of course. Write your comments below on what you think about these comments and your theories for the last two episodes. If they're not spoiler, if you're not just like posting, oh, here's my thoughts, but then you know all the spoilers, so they're not really your thoughts and a prediction. It's just you posting spoilers, which is not the same thing as a prediction. Anyway, write your comments below. Let me know what you guys think. If you like the video, please thumb it up below. If you want to support the channel, you can share, you can favorite. And if you're new and you want to subscribe, you can go ahead and subscribe at the bottom left. That's it for this video, guys. I'll see you again tonight. As always, it's Trev, and I'm saying peace.